We're back in on our hardcore idiot, and as you can probably tell, we're still on a bit of a skilling spree, as I slowly try to get all my skills to the level 60 mark. And as I'm already at player-owned farms, I may as well do something that I've been neglecting, and that is of course to actually construct these animal pens, which I require teak planks for, and fortunately for me I don't have any, but I do have some teak logs, which unfortunately does mean a quick trip to my most hated idiot to get absolutely scammed just turning them into planks. And I also require mithril nails, which are at least free for me to make, but at least I now have all of the items required now to make this medium paddock. And we get a rather tasty 1.3k construction XP for that. And I was going to say the exact same for this other medium pen, but we must first purchase some paddock deeds to build it, which is going to cost me 500 beans to buy, as well as having level 64 in farming. So that's definitely not going to happen, but at least I was able to get some cows up. How are you guys doing? How many beans can I get for you? 2500 farming XP for that one elder cow actually, which actually isn't too bad overall because I do have a few cows to get some experience from, but it's actually just more the beans that I want for you guys. So Rose, you're coming out. As well as you Salisbury, whether you can wear goblin mail or not. So we'll go sell those just after we get a farming level actually, for a grand total of 240 beans. Oh well, the farming experience here was nice, but it's really the construction experience that I'm after, which we'll get from doing our god statues, which actually aren't too difficult to do. So that's a rather nice 5000 construction XP, and we get to murder something as well, and get some Slayer XP. 2500 of it in fact. So I'll just quickly tour around and do the rest of the god statues, and get to murder even more things, to the point that we actually go up a Slayer level, and eventually get the experience required for us to reach level 55 construction. And after we construct the last statue, we're actually only 9000 experience away from level 56. So I'm just going to take a very quick detour into Falador and talk to this marvellous mustache here about a construction contract, which contract sees me come to the Varric General Store and repairing some broken shit around here. So because I'm level 50 construction, I can actually make a lot of things out of oak here, which is going to require oak planks and nails, as well as some white candles to fix the lighting. So it's straight off to the smithy to make some mithril nails, then to get scanned by this awfully familiar bloke to make some more oak planks, and then finally to this muppet here just to buy some candles. Well, I think that's now all of the construction items I need, so we'll return back to the shop and we'll get stuck straight into our most favourite pastime, which is nailing things. And would you look at that, another blue bar skill. Fantastic. But at least that's one rather crappy shelf now repaired, with just 1 million more to go. But at least we get the nice blue bar. But I believe after we construct this table here, that should hopefully be everything. Yes, that's our first construction contract done, and we went up a level, so we're now level 56 construction. And to be fair, that was actually quite a lot of construction XP for that one contract, so I'm definitely going to get more. Although sadly that does mean that I'm going to need to spend a lot of time cutting down oaks just to get more planks. But at least the experience makes it all worth it, because it's not too much longer later that we finish our last contract and we reach level 60 construction, which does now mean that if I had the beans, I would be able to make a large pen at Manor Farm, as well as the breeding pen on the Anachronia Ranch Out of Time farm. But as we've already established, I don't have any beans, so I think we'll move on to some summoning training instead, seeing as our summoning skill is rather pathetic at only level 47, and that I do have a few charms here that I could actually use to train the skill. So yes, let's do some summoning. And at level 47 summoning, the best thing I can make is magpies using green charms, which I'm going to need some gold rings for. And fortunately for me, I still have a few pieces of gold left, so this shouldn't take too long to make some. Well, that's me made a few gold rings, so let's go make some magpie pouches, which you are going to give me some free items to begin with here, son, and then we'll infuse them. I literally had enough shards to make one. Right, damn it, let's buy a few then. That's 2000, how many can I make from that? 22? Which still isn't all of them. But as always, I do have another plan, which involves me taking out all of these other pouches and just come to the swap store just south of Yanile. So you take all of those pouches, and in return for swapping them all, I get 3,600 spirit shards, which was all just completely garbage, so I'm just going to buy one of these spirit shard packs. An absolute complete waste of my time. Like everything I do in this game actually, but at least we should now have enough spirit shards to continue our summoning training. Yay, level 48 summoning. I am really glad that I did that elite dungeon free trash run the other day for some GP, because between summoning here and construction earlier on, I am absolutely broke, but at least we are getting the levels for it. Well, that's me out of green charms now, so what I'm thinking about doing next is actually stabbing this rabbit here in the eye, and then maybe moving on to the blue charms, because I think I can actually make iron minotaurs, which does mean that first I'm going to need to make some iron bars, and depending on how many spirit shards these pouches require, which is quite a lot at 125, but I might be able to get quite a lot of experience out of these. And sadly I am down to my last 500k, so I am going to take that out. I just kinda wish that I had some nature runes, because I do have so much high wealth junk in here that I could high alchemize for money. One day maybe. I'm thinking for now though, just after I make those pouches there for a nice 10k XP, that I will just settle for level 50 in summoning. Well, next I think we'll look into the smithing skill, which we are level 57 with less than 20k until 58. So I think this is a good time for us to go visit our old friends, Doric and Boric. And we'll start the Doric's task free mini quest. And whilst I'm here, Boric, you may as well give me a task as well, which he does. So we'll also do the Boric's task free mini quest. Well, we'll start with Doric's tasks, which sees us come up to speak to the goblins in Goblin Village, and they just simply want me to make them one mithril longsword +1, and one mithril warhammer +1, which are actually quite easy orders, so we'll just quickly make those. And apparently I also had a daily smithing challenge, so that's now done, and we'll get some more XP from that. And whilst we're near the mining guild, I have to speak to one of the dwarfs here about Boric's tasks, which task involves me having to mine 15 auricalcite ore, as well as 10 runite ore. So this is going to take a while, but a couple of years later we finally collect all of the ore required. So let's head back, and we'll give the mithril weaponry to these green idiots, which handing them in apparently means quest complete. And we got a rather pathetic 750 smithing experience, but we did get a lot of charges for our Gofanan amulet, which in turn will turn into even more smithing experience. And after we hand the ores into Boric, that's the other mini quest then done. So that's Boric's tasks free done as well. We got a lot better rewards for this one. 8,000 mining experience, as well as 24k charges on the Gofanan amulet. That's a lot better. But we're not quite done yet, so Doric, give me another task, and we'll start Doric's task 4, which requires me making an adamant burial armor set for this little muppet. But first we're going to check our Gofanan amulet, and we're going to take all of its charges out as smithing bonus XP. So we got over 26,000 bonus experience in smithing, which should definitely come in handy here, because I've got a lot of adamant to make. Man, this sure is taking an eternity to do. But at least we do have a nice blue bar that we can look at. Well, we now have all of the armoured parts to actually make the adamant burial set, so we'll just begin the project and immediately go up a smithing level, so we are now level 58 smithing. But that's us finished our adamant burial set, so we'll go back and speak to this muppet, and then that's the Doric's task 4 mini quest complete. We got some slightly better smithing experience at 1.5k, but again, this is all just for the charges, of which we get 4,500 on the Gofanan amulet. So we return back to Doric for one final time, and we'll take on his 5th task set, which tasks me to make 3 rune swords +1 and 4 gnome plate bodies. Well, the rune swords aren't too difficult to make, and are some pretty decent experience. The gnome plate bodies on the other hand are a completely different story, so I'm going to need to make myself some steel plate bodies first, and with the steel plate bodies we then turn them into gnome plate bodies, which at least is a much faster smithing method, as well as it being oddly silent. But we now travel to the gnome battlefield, and we speak to this little dude for our 5th task mini quest to be complete. We got 5k smithing experience for that, as well as 15k charges on the Gofanan amulet, with the experience just being enough for us to get level 59 smithing, with less than 24,000 experience until level 60 smithing, and over 27,000 bonus experience in the skill as well. So pretty much I need to get myself another 12,000 experience for the level, which I'll hopefully get for upgrading the rest of my runite armour, as well as runite weaponry, that I still yet can't wield because my attack level's too low, but I am hoping to get the level up just from upgrading these. Actually, I completely forgot about the daily challenge, so I'm going to quickly hand in it, of which we were awarded nearly 12,000 experience, so that's now looking a lot better, with only 7,000 required until level 60. And there we are. Just like that, we are now level 60 in smithing. Ooh, I can now do Orichalcite, which is quite funny to me because I now have made myself full Runite plus 3 and I have never ever used it, and before I know it I'm going to be upgrading it to Orichalcum. So at least it was some smithing experience, and before I look into the next skill I'm just going to quickly head back to player on farms and collect some more honey from these beehives. No, I have no idea what you're talking about. You didn't see this at the beginning of the episode. I totally haven't recorded on a different day, and I got so close to level 60 farming, just 5k shy. How can I get 5,000 farming experience without actually doing the skill? Don't you worry, Agatha, you handsome idiot. I have an idea. Which of course, like everything good in life, is going to involve wisps and mushrooms. Right, you come here, little green wisp, and you as well, little purple wisp, and we'll maybe just quickly leave here before we accidentally click one of those. But with the wisps in hand, we'll return back to the fairy, and we'll throw the elixir over this rather ominous looking rock, which we are rewarded with 2,800 experience in hunter, and 3,200 experience in farming, which sadly isn't enough for level 60 farming. We still require another 1.6k, and we'll get that experience from these strong farming urns. So that is us now reached level 60 in farming, and I've actually just seen within the farming skill that I can now access levered farm, so that's going to be something I'm definitely looking forward to. And we are actually looking pretty decent on the skilling front now. There are still a few combat levels that are going to need to get leveled up, but I will do that in time. It's pretty much the middle column here that I'm going to need to work on now. Agility wise, I absolutely hate agility, so not really interested in doing that. Herb lore wise, I do have a few herbs from Kingdom, so I could maybe look into making some potions. Thieving is probably just going to be pyramid plunder until I want to stab my own eyes out. Fletching. Slayer is just another one of those skills that will be leveled in time. I've actually got a lot of experience from Menaphos and probably just going to continue doing that. So that pretty much just means that Hunter's the only thing left to do. I actually have unlocked quite a few new Hunter creatures that I could hunt for experience, but the penguins here do seem to be a bit of a recurring theme, although they are locked away behind a quest, the hunt for the red ractuber. And to be fair, doing the penguin quests as well will allow me to spy more penguin spies every week for even more experience, which in turn I could then put into these skills that I don't really want to do. Well, I really don't need too much convincement, so I'm going to head to Larry and Ardoin Zoo and we'll do some penguin quests, with the first quest being Cold War. And he has asked me to get 10 oak planks as well as 10 steel nails so we can make a bird hide. And I honestly can't begin to tell you just how much I absolutely hate this guy. Anyway, we now have some planks and some nails, and so long as we don't get killed by rock crabs, we'll speak to Larry again. No, apparently not. We're just going to get killed by rock crabs instead. Right, Larry, hurry this up because those rock crabs are still after me. So we are now on this rather cool looking iceberg. Thank you, I'll be here till I leave. Well, we have to make the bird hide on top of this snow patch, which I'm not going to lie, that looks as if it would have taken a lot more than 10 oak planks and 10 nails to make that. But now we need to make it rather inconspicuous by covering it in snow. Yep, sure, that'll do. But I think we can now go into the hide, which we do, so we can now observe some penguins. Man, do they sure look tasty. Well, apparently the penguins are acting deliciously suspicious, so we need to speak to Larry away from the iceberg now, which means coming back here to Rock Crab Central, and I have to now make a mechanical penguin suit to go infiltrate the penguins, just to see why they're being suspiciously delicious. So I'm going to need to get myself one wooden plank, one clockwork mechanism, and one piece of silk. Well, getting the silk is nice and easy, as well as getting the one wooden plank. The clockwork mechanism, on the other hand, is a bit trickier to do, because I'm actually going to need to enlist the help from this idiot here and use our workbench to make this clockwork mechanism. Oh great, which of course we can't because we're an Iron Man. You are just so bloody useless that I'm glad you've died. Right, apparently I need a workshop. What level is that? Level 15 construction for a workshop. Well, it's definitely been a while since I was last at my house, but let's make a workshop. 10,000 coins, of course. Yeah, sure, that'll do. Just build it so we can get on with this. Right, apparently I'm going to need to make a steel framed bench here, which is going to require 6 oak planks and 4 steel bars. But I think I need to make the oak workbench before it, and a wooden workbench before that, I am actually going to sever your head from your body and mount it on top of this workbench that I'm making. Well, we'll make the wooden workbench first, and how do I upgrade it? Oh damn, actually that's a good save. It's this that I'm supposed to make. Right, we'll make a crafting table 1 then. And there's the upgrade option now, which I'm going to require molten glass for, as well as oak planks. And do you know the worst part about all of this? I am actually reading the wiki for this part, and I'm still managing to f*** all of this up. But at least we can now upgrade the clockmaker's workbench. In fact, we can upgrade it to level 4. And brilliant, I can now make this clockwork piece, which in turn then means I can make the clockwork suit, and return back to Larry, as well as getting beaten up by rock crabs. I am getting serious deja vu here. Right Larry, got the suit, now what? Oh, we return back to the iceberg. How very ice. Okay, I am actually going to go on a murder spree. They have destroyed my bird hide. All of those planks! Well, before I can infiltrate the penguin hideout so that I can slaughter them all, I have to return back to our Doyne Zoo just so we can test out the suit there. And we've been shrunk and now enter a penguin. Awesome. Right, let's get to some penguin murdering. You can't attack? Well, fine. You guys get lucky for now. But what do you want? Well, apparently I have to do an emote greeting for this penguin, and I was definitely not paying attention earlier on whenever those penguins did it in front of us. So, how about a nice twirl, which apparently was right. Well, after checking back the earlier recordings, I think it's a shiver, which also seems to be right, followed by a nice slow golf clap. Well, some dialogue later, and I have to now go to Lumbridge. But first, I am definitely killing you guys for destroying my planks. Now we can go to Lumbridge. Well, the penguins are hiding out in this pen here, so first we'll turn into a little penguin, and then we'll come speak to a sheep, which is going to require the secret handshake again, so I need to once again look back at those recordings, because I do not pay attention. Well, I found out the secret handshake, but I now need to go get a rock hod. So it's back to Lumbridge again to speak to the penguin sheep, who asked me to come bully this farmer. I'm pretty much just spacebarring my way through this quest. I don't have a clue what's actually happening. And it just looks as if we're heading back to the iceberg, just to continue this icecapade. But we should now be able to infiltrate the penguin hideout, after we speak to this rather dashing and tasty chap here, who refuses to let me into the outpost without an ID card, which we'll be able to get from this little chap here, and I've just simply to bring him some swamp tar, as well as 5 chicken feathers, and he'll give me the ID and a mission report. Back to Lumbridge then, I suppose, and then quickly back to Noodle again with the items, which now that we have the ID card, we can now enter the outpost. So I have to be debriefed by speaking to this agent here, and he has set me a physical exam. So I actually need to go do an agility lap. You know the whole point of me doing this quest is so that I don't need to do agility, guys, so making me do it in the first place here is rather nasty. As is getting hit by that iceberg, and I've actually gone the wrong way already. Okay, we seem to have an icicle part here that we need to tread slowly for whatever reason, which that was really difficult to do. Cool, let's go up this hill. Well, as fun as that was, guys, I would rather not do any more agility here. I would just rather really quite glitchily do the remainder of this course. Flying a little bit as well also helps. I have no idea what the hell's happening. But that's the course now done. Well, I've just to return back to Larry now and report to him about the penguin army that has been built here. He said something to me, but the crux of it is that I have to go back into the outpost and find a secret room, which I'm guessing that may be the secret room across the way then. But I'm not allowed past these doors yet. So logically the next step is to then come speak to these musical penguins, who then want me to go get a cowbell and a set of bongos for them. Well, cowbell wise is pretty easy, you just steal it from this dairy cow. The bongos on the other hand, I'm going to require some mahogany planks first, which again I only have logs. Oh, please let me be able to use this portable workbench. Oh, boo! I really don't want to talk about this today. 1.5k for one mahogany log. Fantastic. But at least we just use the mahogany log on some leather, and we will get our penguin bongos. We return back to Ping and Pong with their musical instruments, who then start to play them, causing the guard who was controlling the doors here to get distracted, which means that we can now just easily pass through. And I actually think this may have been the secret room that I was to find, with that giant ass clockwork penguin at the back. So we'll enter the room and have a little scout around, or get caught pretty much instantly and thrown into jail with these nice ice lords. Right chaps, let's not be killing me, let's instead have me killing you. And And I've got to say, their model is incredibly beautiful as well. The only thing that would make this entire thing better was if they had a blue bar on top of their head. Anyway, that's the last one down. We're going to ignore the fact that one just got back up again. So I think we can now maybe leave. That'll be a yes. Well, time to return back to Larry to let him know everything that's happened, which we do, and we complete the quest. So that is Cold War now complete. We got some crafting experience, as well as quite a lot of agility experience, and some construction experience as well. And I can now use the penguin agility course here, should I want to level my agility up the normal way, and not the penguin point way. We will see about that. But with the Cold War quest now done, it's straight back to Larry in our Doyen Zoo, who's looking even better than he normally does. But I'm all out of time for this one, so we will find out exactly what he's up to next time, as we continue our way down the Penguin quest line. So it's goodbye from me for now, and Larry, do you have anything to say? That's absolutely right, Larry. We'll see you guys next time.